Hey there, we're here working on a client's fireplace. It's a big four-sided brick fireplace that we're going to be painting with Annie Sloan chalk paint in pure white. And we're gonna do this bottom section here in a couple different styles because it's gonna be covered up, and so you can see different ways to work on it. You need to use one of these big, wonderful, round Annie Sloan brushes. They really get into the brick well here. So I have just a little bit of pure white paint in my container, and I'm just gonna get it pretty thick on my brush and start globbing it in there. These brushes work perfect for that because they get in all your crevices of your bricks a lot easier than another brush would do. And it kind of soaks up the paint. You will use a lot more paint on brick than you would, say, on a piece of painted furniture, because it does soak it up, but that's okay. Just know that going in. So I'm getting a good amount on there and just getting it on heavy. And just really push your brush into your areas, work it in. Stop. So that's going to be my section on kind of the solid look.
The fireplace was also power washed.
Yes, it was also power washed beforehand.
You couldn't
You
do that
can't
if
do
you
that in your
lived in the
home,
home.
yeah.
But you could sweep it and clean it. This was really dirty, but the fact that it was, the wetness of the brick didn't matter, right? Or,
No, it doesn't matter because it will just, the paint is water-based, so the water of your brick will just kind of soak it up together. So our client here wants to see what it looks like to have no paint in the mortar and just paint white brick. So that's what I'm doing here next. We vote that this style is going to be bad, but we'll do it. It's kind of hard
Some
not
people
to get
might
it
like
on
it,
that edge, but it's not as horrible looking as I thought. But this is a huge fireplace, so I still don't think it's what will be picked. And then you can see, like right here where I accidentally hit my brush. If that happened,
yeah, then you're done.
it would be toast. You'd have to be a little bit more
Well,
careful than
he
I'm
thought he
being.
was going to do it possibly with a roller.
Oh, well, that could possibly not get your brush. Or you could use one of these flat brushes, and that would get it so it wasn't, you know, so much in the grooves. But you can see it doesn't take long. We're just chugging along pretty fast here. And when you aren't getting in, oops, I got a little bit more in the grout there. Yeah, if you're going to do this method, I wouldn't use this round brush, or I'd be a little bit more careful about it. Like we said, this is getting covered up, so it's not a big deal. Okay, I gotta find a place to stop.
I'd do that bottom one.
Do the
and
bottom
stop.
one? Okay.
Well, and you could do half of the other two. You know what I mean? You don't have to do the
Okay.
whole face, so then he can see that section.
So that's kind of then the section that is just painting your face of your bricks and not really doing any of the grout. So then while I have no watered down paint yet, I'm going to go ahead and try to paint the grout lines of my brick, but not really the face of the brick. This will be a little bit more detailed, and I'll see what I can do here. Just for trying, I have a little cheap artist brush from Walmart. See if that fits in there good enough. I don't want usually when you see whitewashed brick, it doesn't have a black grout line, it has a white grout line. So that's why I'm gonna come in here and try to really make your grout white, and then we're gonna whitewash over top of it. This definitely will be the most time-consuming, tedious way. But it might be the coolest. Oop, crappy brush, bristles are going everywhere. The brick really is tearing my brush apart. And I am going to go back and whitewash the brick here, so if it does get on the face of it, it's not a, end of the world situation. It's just, I don't want it all over the face. And this has a really deep mortar to it. I know other things don't, so it would maybe not be such a ordeal. What do you think, Mom? Do I need to make sure it gets really solid in there, or?
Yeah, I think so. It probably feels tedious to you, and I'm sure we could work on a better brush. But I like the effect. I think it's going to be cool. I mean, I also like the last one, I think. Well, I really like more of the solid white than I thought I would.
Yeah, I like the solid white, and I wasn't sure if I would or
I
not.
think it's such a commitment to people. They're so afraid to do it, but it's so enhancing.
Yeah, this
You
brick's
find
pretty
if you
ugly.
just don't really like a brick. And this is a massive fireplace that goes around into the other side of it, into the kitchen area. That
Yeah, it's a 2-story.
it will really, I mean, the property, keeping it like this would make the property seem dated. I'm going to give you another look of it. How it goes up, way up to this vaulted ceiling. And then the same surrounds on the other side. We're sitting in a sunken living room. That's why this is going to get covered up.
There will no longer be a sunken living
This
room.
floor is
from
going to
the
be brought up
70s.
to, yeah, the floor is going to be brought up level with the rest of the property.
It's going to be a pretty cool house. So, if you're in Macon and you need a house in the country,
Yeah,
let us
we won't
know.
divulge
We know who's working
we
on
won't
it.
divulge the location as of yet. Gotta get a little further along in the
Renovation.
project.
Oh, I'll probably do another. Yeah, this is definitely the longest, tedious way, but that's okay. Might be worth
Yeah,
it.
you would need to do like over to the next brick so that he can see the same
Okay.
distance. It'll just be a little bit longer. Maybe we should talk about this property. It's gonna have
bedrooms.
it's gonna have a humongous master suite with a walk-in shower and
To his and her walk-in closets.
right in the master suite, and 2 bedrooms. Oh well,
Well, 3.
2 additional bedrooms. It has this living space that we're sitting in that will join this big expansive dining room area, and there's the kitchen over there, and it goes around on the other side of this fireplace. And then beyond it, there's plans for a big island, and
It goes right into a big family room.
a big family room. There's, let's see, a laundry hookup in the bedroom areas, and a laundry hookup on the other end of the home as well, where there's also a entryway, and what's that storm cellar lockout thing?
And a pantry.
Um,
Big pantry.
and a double car garage. In a beautiful, beautiful country setting. I'll give you just a peek of it. Yeah, that's magnificent.
All right. Well,
Probably that section's good enough for that example.
okay, so what I'm going to do then, which this is just an experiment here too, I'm going to now take a,
Your
well, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to,
your brush is kind of dried out
Yeah.
now in a way.
I don't want it to be like solid whitewash, so I'm going to kind of go along and not put a lot of pressure. Let's see, maybe like that. Maybe this would be a little solider of an area. No.
Bounce, just bounce it.
Like that?
Yeah. Try it.
So that this still has the darker area, but then it still has a little bit of paint on it, is what you're thinking?
Well, I wasn't, I guess, knowing. I was thinking that would help. So this area is supposed to have the grout lines painted and then be sort of sporadically.
Yeah, yeah. Have some more solider areas and then have some pretty bare areas. So it looks more like, say, it has chipped off or flaked off over the years.
Yeah. That one brick on the top, or the middle, that one, I need a couple. Sorry. You know me. Okay.
Okay. I mean,
So the
in a
next
big
one,
area, it would
so
be...
the next one, we're kind of do that, right? But we're not doing the grout lines?
We're not doing the grout lines first, and I was going to do a full wash of... I can try to water it down and do an actual wash of the paint and get it...
Let's do that after you do the next section of
Okay, so just like a brush,
solid paint still.
dry brush kind of area. So lightly like this, but everywhere, with black grout, right?
But you have to probably bounce it some to get it in the grout lines.
I thought we're not getting it in the grout. That's the point.
Oh.
Well, I mean, not a ton, right? I mean,
I thought some, like not caring. Yeah, like that, sporadically.
my arm will have a workout by the time now. I feel like it's a jiggling machine. Should I cover all of it or leave some open? Like, should I leave, I don't know if you can see it down here.
Yeah, I see that down there.
Should I leave that open or make sure all of it has a pretty consistent color?
I think you need to do more like you're doing. More consistent,
Okay.
I guess.
Well, or I could move on to the next set. This could be
The one
black grout with inconsistent.
Well, then make it a little bigger.
Okay. We're just working right along this guy. Whoa. Yeah, be careful if you're messy like me. So there's an inconsistent black grout. And then, do I do a more consistent but dry brushed? Because that almost is going to look like his right here.
Well, yeah, you have to move on. But I was thinking, perhaps, even though your paint isn't whitewashed down, you know how you're not doing the bouncing and you were doing the stroking?
Yeah.
Try that.
Like like paint like this.
Yeah, just try that and get into the grout in some cases if you can.
I can. These awesome brushes, they'll handle anything.
So it's not as solid, perhaps, as the first one, but it's still kind of solid. In a way, there's not, yeah, like it's the first coat of what might be for some people. I like that, where it gets into the, but then we got to do the up and down grout lines, because none of that.
Oh, okay, so go like. So then there's that, kind of.
So maybe what you need to do now is step back and sit over here by me and then talk about each one of these, and might figure out something else we want to try.
No, I have something else I want to try
Oh, you
first.
do?
I do,
Okay.
yeah. I'm going to take a little bit of water. We're out here on a construction site, so we don't have many things here. And a little bit of paint, and I don't even have a mixer, so I'm just going to mix them up there in a container and make like a
So there
milk
was
consistency.
some paint in there.
No,
Oh.
this was an empty one. I just put whatever paint was on my brush
Oh.
and some water. And I'm going to do a true whitewash.
Oh.
Now, I don't
let's
love
see, I gotta
whitewash with this brick. Sit on the edge over there.
I know, I'm old.
Give Mom a break. Ooh, that might be a messy one. But I think it'll give a more consistent, solid.
And then it'll kind of.
And then we
is
can
it
kind of.
translucent?
Well, it's more than a layer of paint. But what I can do with a wash easier is I can blot it off.
Oh.
So I'm really trying to get it everywhere, but just in this very watered down. You can see it ran all over the floor, so careful if you're doing that method at home. Try not to be quite as messy as me. And then I'm trying to get where it's like piled up in some of these areas.
And this is the true whitewash method.
Yeah, this is true whitewash. If you want to whitewash your fireplace, that's what you do.
I do like this. I mean,
now I can go and I
I
could
like
leave.
how it was so, it flowed so easy.
But what you can do then is you can take and you can, and then you take and you wipe off.
Oh.
And there you have a whitewash. And if your rag was wet, which I could get my rag wet here.
I think you're taking off too much. Well,
Well,
I mean,
I'm just doing different.
I mean,
I'm seeing how you can make your wash.
so, you know, in fact, that kind of gets you to the, well, where you did with the little grout with the white.
Yeah.
It kind of gets you there in a much easier way. And then you can take off as much as you do or don't want.
Yeah. So that's what I would call a whitewash, where you still see all the colors, but everything's got a white haze over top of it.
Ah.
So I guess we can go.
And there's different degrees of
There's
that.
different degrees, yes. Here, just because I have some extra
Yeah,
left,
do
we'll
another
do another
section
whitewash.
Kind of back to where you were.
Whoa, see? Messy, messy, messy.
Well, yes and no. I mean, easy.
Yeah, easy is true.
Plus, it's a tall fireplace, so.
It'll run. We'll start from the top. It can just run down.
Yeah, maybe by the time you get to the bottom, there won't be any painting left.
Again, these brushes make all the difference. I didn't
I
even do
tell
this
you, they
without a different
certainly
brush.
do.
Okay, that's
Without.
wiping anything back, but with a milk consistency. And if you're doing this for your actual, thing, not just testing it, get up and move to different sides and see from different angles if you've missed a spot in one of these bricks. Because like from where I'm sitting now, I can see all these edges and they're perfect, but I don't know, maybe this
Right.
edge isn't.
You're right.
So you have to move around and kind of look, especially if you're going for a solid look. If you're not going for a solid look, all bets are off. Okay, so that's a solid whitewash. Should I still wash a little bit of it off?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, you have that last little section we'll leave for the homeowner in case he
Wants another
wants a
something.
different something.
Okay, so let's see what we got here. We have a solid whitewash without any of it wiped off. We have a whitewash with it dabbed off. And I do believe too, if you're doing a whitewash like this, the longer you leave it on to then blot off, the more solid it would be also. Because it's more time it's soaked in. This was kind of like a no water in the paint, solid big brush just over everything. We have, whoops, we have just kind of a dabby motion area with in the grout, but not, you know, perfectly. We have paint the grout lines first and then kind of hit and miss with a pouncing motion. We have don't touch the grout lines, solid brick, pretty much. And then solid, just straight on the brick, white paint.
Shockingly, I expected to like
This one the most?
This one the most, and I'm really gravitating towards that solid one. It seems a shame to me, of course, older, to cover up the brick completely. And I guess I'm kind of probably going back to that grout line one. Although I really love that whitewash.
I like the second whitewashed one.
Yeah, the second whitewashed
from that
one.
side.
Well,
I
this
don't like
house
when
too,
you can see the brick or the
we
grout.
know that they're going for a contemporary feel. All the walls are going to be painted white. So I guess for this house,
That one.
yeah, and that'll ultimately be up to the homeowner, and we'll let you know. We'll show you a picture of the final, or maybe even
In the process.
progress. So,
Thanks for watching.
here.
Have a good day.